Hello, welcome to another episode of Yap Session. Today I'm going to talk about body work again. I just received my third Soma structural integration session, and it felt so profoundly ordinary. I just had lunch as well. Delicious. Um, Having done a lot of emotional work and meditation and being in woo land up here, I absolutely adore just how grounded and like present and embodied body workers are. No, I was with this body worker, and every question, if it was anywhere eerie, like if it wasn't specific, if it wasn't a grounded question, she would very quickly say, "Could you be more specific?" And it felt so good to receive. Like this, like a simple example of just her embodiment of the work she's done. And went into the session to just like be massaged, to be somewhat structurally integrated without too many thoughts. But she had me breathe, and in the breathing, I could feel like this feeling of being high, like blissfully high, like up here. I feel so good. I feel like high as hell in the sky. And then throughout the session, she would like press on different parts of my back, and then she went on my left side first, and she did my lower back to integrate like my torso to my hips, and there was like little tension points, and she would hold it, I would breathe into it, and I'd have like sensation flow throughout my whole body. And then she would go to a different spot and a different spot, and then I stood up and I was feeling the left side of my body, and it felt like this warm velvety like connected like torso to hip to legs, this like solidity. And that blissfulness wasn't there on my left side. There was this feeling of pleasure, this grounded pleasure. While on the right side, it kind of felt like rocks. Like there's like this rock here, and then the torso rock, and then there's like little rocks, and then my pelvic rock, and then my legs. And it still felt really good on my right side, but it did not feel the solid, velvety, like connected, interconnected feeling on my left side. And then she did my right side, and then we finished the session. And I'm just standing there, and I feel so incredibly safe in my body that feels thinking a thought to try to feel safe does not make sense. It legitimately does not make sense to use a thought about the future or the past to reassure myself for anything to feel safe, because I felt so incredibly safe in my body after the massage that I could just be there. And it just really highlighted to me the sensory motor layer of development. Like there's the intellectual layer of like seeing through your limiting beliefs and seeing what you could do. There is the emotional layer of like developing emotional fluidity so that every emotion is processed, every emotion is integrated. Your wisdom is like fully there and online. Your heart is fully there and online. But those two have nothing to do with safety and capacity. The capacity comes from how we hold our body. I mean, not nothing. There's something about the thoughts that we have that impact our nervous system. And if we believe that we can't handle something, then our nervous system is shaped in a way to not handle the thing. So there's a co-arising that happens. But the body and the nervous system and the sensory motor layer is so in charge of safety and just safety in general that when you learn to just access safety through your body, it stops making sense. It legitimately stops making sense to go into the future or go into the past to try to figure out something, to try to feel safe. And I'm just like, oh, this is so good. I fucking love body work. All this fucking thousands of hours of meditation. Really helpful in breaking down my thoughts and seeing through my identity and going through all that stuff. But now I'm like this like blissed out like dude that's not in there fully in their body, that like still has thoughts about the future and the past, but I can just like, the thoughts are just there. I don't have to think them, but they're there. And it's non-personal and blah blah blah. Like I think what's his name? Ram Dass is like, oh, I have this like, he's blissed out. He's like, I transcended his ego, but the ego is like the identity is still there. So he's like, oh, they're just my, my quirks. I just have my little quirks. But if you just feel profoundly safe in your body, the thoughts just like go silent. Like there is no thoughts. You're just like, I'm safe here in the present moment. I don't need to go plan in the future. I don't need to go into the past. I don't need to think about money. I don't need to think about this relationship. I feel so safe in my body that like I just trust that I'll feel safe tomorrow and the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And I don't need to go figure it out because I know the safety is from here, this thing that's holding this container that is me, this fleshy human being. And it's so good. I'm so excited. I emailed the current co-director of the school, the Soma Institute, to try to get a session from him. And this guy has been receiving sessions from his parents who started the school, who started this like lineage from, I think it initially originated from Rolfing. And he's been receiving it growing up his entire life. And then he's been giving it his entire life. The intuition, the wisdom in his hands, like I can't even imagine. I would be so excited to receive a session with him before I went into the workshop and went into the school. And I'm just like, oh, I feel so passionate about this. I'm so excited. Coach, there's a time where like I was super excited and passionate about emotional work and coaching, and it was awesome. And I'm still like kind of excited and passionate about emotional work and coaching, but I'm like extraordinarily super duper excited about body work, and like developing my sensory motor skills, being able to see how people hold their attention, how they don't feel safe in their body, what I could do to help them feel safer in their body, what I could do to help myself feel safer in my body. How can I be an integrated human being from the bottom up, from the somatics to the sensory motor to the intellectual to the emotional, like all into the spiritual, all in this like little package of samek, and that's contained in here in the moment. Gah! Gah! I'm so excited. That's my little update for today. Big loves. Peace.